Namaskar and welcome once again to News 365 Times. I am Soni Gautam and it is a privilege to continue our exclusive conversation with Sri R.V.S. Mani, former Under Secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India and Padma Shri awardee 2026. In our previous episode, Sri Mani shared his insightful perspective on West Bengal's governance journey, the institutional challenges that have emerged over the past several decades, and the reforms required to place the state back on the path of growth, investment, and effective administration. Today, we move on to an equally important and sensitive subject, one that has significant implications not only for West Bengal but also for India's national security and governance framework. With West Bengal sharing one of India's longest and most active international borders with Bangladesh, concerns surrounding illegal immigration, demographic shifts, document fraud, welfare leakages, and border management have increasingly become subjects of national debate. Drawing upon his extensive experience in the Ministry of Home Affairs and his deep understanding of internal security matters, Sri Mani will help us understand the challenges, realities, and possible solutions associated with this complex issue. Sri Mani, thank you once again for joining us. Let me begin our first question in this segment. West Bengal's international border remains one of India's most sensitive frontiers. How significant is the challenges posed by illegal immigration from a national security perspective?
If you go back to first, let me start with certain information on record.
Yes, sir.
2007, 2000. This is something which is happening since 1967, 60s.
Hmm.
A particular political entity coming from Kachar district, Barak Valley, contested the elections there, and incidentally, he went on to become the president of India. He, to consolidate his position, opened the floodgates of Bangladeshi immigrants into Assam, and that was originally the beginning. So when IMDT etc. was there, even in the Assam Accord, very tactfully the then ruling party and the particular person who was talking at that time, he had expired. They tactfully talked about 1971 being the date, although there are some ASU students were saying 1951 should be the date. This is the first dilution we did, the government of India or the Indian politician did in 1960s to consolidate his political position. He brought in voters, he brought in people for illegal immigrants from, and 1986 Assam Accord has really not, has meant, it means nothing, because the illegal immigration from Bangladesh is continuing unabated. Mr. Brahma, H.S. Brahma, former Chief Election Commissioner, who is a native of Assam, especially the Kokradar area, he had once on record said in 2012 that 12 districts of Assam have already become Muslim dominated, that means the illegal immigration has been, and the growth of population in these areas are much rapid than the TFR, total fertility rate.
Yeah.
The same problem has been happening in West Bengal also.
Yes.
Borders are, excepting that the Indian government had started as a border management initiative, fencing of the border.
Hmm.
Assam has been very effective in that. Tripura side, yes, it is. Meghalaya has certain terrain bordered with Bangladesh, which is not fenceable because of the terrain restrictions. And you have Calcutta, large, around 4,000 kilometers of border with Bangladesh, on which so far till May 2026, there is a deliberate attempt by the government, state government in power, to hamper the border fencing projects, hamper the project fencing process. And this led to a huge demographic changed in many of the border areas, Bashirhat, Bidhannagar, Nadia,
Hmm.
etc. Murshidabad, Malda were extremely bad. Now, even now, Mamta Banerjee, who is now looking for Lok Sabha seat, is looking at Bashirhat and Malda, which has got almost 70% Muslim. Berhampur is also same. Berhampur is very close to Murshidabad. It is something like a stone's throw distance. Kuch Bihar, Faraka. Malda had a very unique figure. There was a Congress MP getting elected. His daughter also got elected, called Dhani Khan Chaudhary. The family holds the entire region for under their stranglehold. It is a Congress politician. Things have changed only in 2026. Till that time, the issues were there. In addition, when the from on the this is the pull factor. There
Hmm.
is another factor called push factor. Bangladesh openly states its policy as liberalism. Liberalism is pushing the population, excess population. It is something shedding the excess flesh. Like
Hmm.
that, they shed the excess population by pushing them into the neighboring country. It is irrespective of whether it is the Khalidia Jia branch or it is the Hasina Sheikh branch. They have been doing it, and there is no respite from this deliberate policy of pushing the population. They encourage migration into India so that the public social overheads to that extent of that population may not be
Hmm.
factored into their budget. So this is also a deliberate attempt by the Bangladesh. Many Hindus have also come. Other minorities like Chakmas have also migrated and settled into Tripura.
Hmm.
Muslims majority are coming, and since West
Yeah.
Bengal is not able to accommodate this, they are going to spreading over to all over the country. Domestic work. If you see in 2015, there was an issue in Noida, which recently also happened in Noida. Some domestic lady stole some money from a house in Noida, a society in Noida,
Yes.
upmarket.
Hmm.
And when she was confronted with the householder, homemaker, the entire community of illegal Bangladeshis, supported by some insiders in the India, some left-wing liberal, had come in support of them, saying that this is persecution. There was, and they somehow manipulated the criminal investigation. It did not take place.
Hmm.
This is your problem. You are also living in NCR. I am also living in NCR. In Gurgaon, it is common. In Delhi, in Dwarka, where I live, almost all the rickshaw fellows are Bangladeshi. It's very obvious. And certain pockets have absolutely huge numbers of Bangladeshi illegally who have got legitimized by way of brokers getting them Aadhaar card, ration card, all those things, with a documentation to some sort of a naturalization of India.
Hmm.
And in 2004, when the question was answered in the parliament, the government did not take any numbers, but they gave a very evasive report. This is 5th July 2004. Anybody can check the Lok Sabha website. It's in the public
Hmm.
domain. If you extrapolate that and the total fertility rate and additionally accelerated immigration on account of Rohingyas also coming in, the amount of population of Bangladeshis in India could be anything between 15 crores. And 15 crores is almost 15 cities, or bigger than 15 cities. Most of the population in Indian cities do not, excepting the major metropolis, do not have a population of more than 1 crore. They have, many of them have got voter cards, etc. Some are struggling, some, but to the extent that if 1971 was the drawing line, even we might have a particular person who was elected an MP who runs a party, who runs a, I'm not taking the name, who runs
Yeah.
a scent business, perfume business all over. His perfume shop is in the Guwahati airport
Hmm.
shop also. Even his, as per many sources I have checked up, his his also his citizenship itself is 1971 or 1951 is the drawing line. Even he could be not surely an Indian citizen. So that is the reason that so many times and after 2006 Assam Accord, the government did nothing to implement the accord. And a couple of one Pramati Boyan and her husband, two Assamese citizens, went to the Supreme Court for enforcement of the accord, and thereafter the National List of Citizens only for Assam, criteria formed and fixed by Supreme Court Committee and monitored by Supreme Court Committee was formed. I do not know the progress. This started in 2006, but I do not know what is the progress because there have been so much of resistance among the citizens, the local politicians, people like Gaurav Gagoi has from Jorat. They have tried to scuttle it. In
Hmm.
addition to that, we have Bangladeshis of around 10,000 families, even in a place where there is you and I cannot settle. That is Mizoram, Aizawl, and other places,
Hmm.
which is also bordering. And for visiting an ordinary Indian citizen to visit an island, he requires an inner line permit. But the illegal Bangladeshi is settled there. Manipur, and the ethnic problem in Manipur is partly because of the external defense and partly because it is triggered by the Bangladeshi issue. Nagaland has got its own set of problems of Bangladeshi. Bihar has a huge set of Bangladeshi. They have eased out the local Biharis from smaller, lower professions like rickshaw pulling and all. And they have done it,
Hmm.
in especially certain areas in northeast of Bihar, like Katihar and all that. So that is the situation. You have a problem with Delhi, you have a problem with Bombay or
Hmm.
Maharashtra. Mr. Kirti Somaya, who is a member of, was a former member of Parliament, I don't know whether he is now a BJP leader, has exposed each and every, including Malegaon, which is the center of many terrorist attacks, which is the center of Ahle Hadith in India. Ahle Hadith is something, a very, very radical Muslim organization. And there it is happening. Bangladeshis have been caught, freight documentation has happened in Sambhaji Nagar, Aurangabad, formerly Aurangabad, in Pune. I will take you to another issue. Pune German bakery attack.
Yeah.
German bakery attack. The funding was through one Mohsin Akbar Chowdhury to all
Hmm. Hmm.
Rabiqul Chowdhury, Akbar, some Akbar Chowdhury was around for 16 people were there.
Hmm.
By most of them were suspect, not very, nobody, even the investigation agencies were suspecting whether they were Indians or they are Bangladeshis who were to come into here. From a Ratnakar bank account, they were funding all the entire funds moved through them. Kerala has its own problem of Bangladeshis living there. Tirupur in Tamil Nadu has a huge cluster, textile cluster, where most of the dyeing units are the workers are Bangladeshis. Construction sites, almost all places, these are Bangladeshis. So this is a humongous problem which we are facing, not just snatching away the social evidence which is created for Indian citizens, bona fide Indian citizens, funded out of the tax of Indian taxpayers' money, being snatched by the Bangladesh who have illegally arrived here. And they are not only doing that, they are indulging in all sorts of things, including love jihad, crime. You go to Jammu, you can find, or Kashmir also. In Kashmir, you and I cannot go and
Hmm.
settle down there. You go to Kashmir, deeper into Kashmir. How one of a senior security officer, now retired, how did he find out was, he said all his children, one lady was there, but his children were not so fair complexioned as the lady. So he went and checked up. It was found that she had married a Bangladeshi and living in Srinagar.
Hmm.
The hotel owners, these type of. So and in recently now in 2018 or 19 in Himachal there was one case of a masjid coming on the road suddenly, which was ultimately demolished by the Jairam Thakur government. But the question is, when it was investigated where there was no Bangladeshi, there was no Muslim in that area, for whom it was found that the illegal Bangladeshi had occupied land and constructed. Their pattern is they construct a mazar, then masjid, then most of on the roads, mainly on the roads, public
Hmm.
occupation, etc. They are doing it brazenly.
Yeah.
This is a nuisance value for India. So that is the reason India should, India, actually, incidentally, now the steps taken after 2026 May. First thing, because now there is a sink between the Assami and the, basically the Assami border and the Assami border and the West Bengal border to Bangladesh is the longest. Of course, Tripura border, there are certain cattle smuggling happens. Chakmas are also there, they take care, the Hindus are also there. There also quite a lot of strengthening is happening in Chakma. If you remember, in 2005, in Tripura, Jeevan Kumar, BSF assistant commandant, and his own constable body was handed over by Bangladeshi rifles. So far, that time the government did not because they were stopping the illegal immigrants into India. That time the government was not favorable and they did not try to seek to respond like the Balakot or
Mm.
Balakot or what other responses are operating in Sindhu, but it also deserved an equal, it's not that much equal in potential, it required
Mm.
a stronger muscular response. That has enabled Bangladesh to now go brazenly about it. That, and if you see the radical parties of, if you see the Bangladeshi National Assembly constitution composition, Indian borders are all electing most radical Awami League, Harkatul Jamaat Islami, and all this. They are getting, and the moderates are coming from the central Bangladesh who have got into rule. Muhammad Yusuf's group is a very, very radical, highly radicalized group, and they are trying to say they not a tabligh jamaat. They don't do mischief in their own country. They do and radicalize and do mischief. And this is the reason, the beauty of that, that we are able to, we should control it. The government of India has set up a Siliguri corridor has been declared a union territory. Central government has taken reins over that. The cooperation is absolutely, so far has been very good from Suvanto, Suvendu Adhikari and Himanta Bishwal. So
Yes.
I think I, it is my anticipation that the disease will stop. The
Mm.
foolish investor and Suvendu Adhikari has also allotted the required land of around 400 kilometers acres for border fencing and border infrastructure and closing the gap. But the larger question is the 10th rank, 10 to 12 crore people who have living here, who have settled. How are you going to send them back? How are you going to? All these attempts have been repulsed by the Bangladeshi BDR, Bangladesh Rifle, at the border itself. Skirmishes are happening. We are trying to put them, they are trying to put them back, and these type of things are happening. Elsewhere, we will have to pay a huge cost of setting up transit camps for them and feeding a huge population who are doing nothing, which is of not our mistake, except in mistakes of some Congress politicians. So this needs to be addressed. I am sure with the announcement of Siliguri corridor, and the beauty of that is especially about the modernization changes, demographic changes, and in my book also I had said something about myth of Hindu terror, about how Bangladeshi 150 kilometers inside India, in the Bangladeshi border, many places of worship and education institutions, radical education institutions had come up at a rapid pace based on the inputs of intelligence agency, including BSF, the local intelligence agency, funded by foreign funding, etc., etc. Now, Honorable Home Minister has given a very clear order that any masjid, which any religious place or any building which shelters the illegal Bangladeshis will be demolished.
Yeah.
And that was very heartening for me. It is something very close to my heart. So
Mm.
I'm sure we are coming to an end of first part is the trigger from Bangladesh will stop.
True.
How, what to do the second part of around 10 crore we are sitting on our lap, that we will have to take a systematic call on this. Especially Mr. One of the members of the committee which is doing the Siliguri corridor is an excellent officer. He has dealt with the problem in Home Ministry as Joint Secretary Foreigners, then he went on to become other places, including Chief Secretary of UP. He is well aware of the appraised of the problem, and he will come out with some. And he's a very ingenious gentleman. He will come out with a solution. That is what is my earnest hope. Thank you.
So, as you cited so many examples, so like the next question relates
The
to this
examples are
only.
on public. Examples are facts, public domain. You
Yeah,
can go
yeah,
and check.
sir. Yeah,
I am
yeah,
not
yeah.
taking anything out of my own.
Yeah, all the facts, like, because you have such a great experience related to all these things. So, should illegal immigration be viewed only through a humanitarian lens, or must it also be addressed as a governance and security issue?
It should be addressed as a, because they are not, they don't deserve any humanitarian. If I do, I always hold the view that illegal immigration immigrant is a fugitive, he is a lawbreaker. So any lawbreaker, irrespective of by default or due to you, if you have a problem in Bangladesh, apply for there are two channels for a political refuge, asylum. But this type of pushing the border, because what has happened is, I'll give you very interesting. If you be lax, in 2020 or 21, a Chinese jumped over the border trying to enter into India through Bangladesh. A Chinese national. That means there will be no, you cannot treat them differently. And that fellow was a security risk. He had come to spy on India, he had come for espionage work. Not only that, there are such cases in Northeast is a very, very sensitive matter. I am sure it is developing. India's look east policy is there. They are connecting Guwahati, and Guwahati has grown rapidly. But 5 Ukrainians and an American were caught in the Northeast states a few months back.
Hmm.
So if any foreigner is allowed, every foreigner will come, and we are not a dharamshala. Let us be very clear about it. India is a
True.
sacred place. It is not a dharamshala. You are not supposed to feed. Indian taxpayers are creating the value. They are creating the value. They should be entitled to that, not because some politician wanted some votes, additional votes, he allowed it, and that has become. See, it is now 57 years or 58, 9 years that we are seized of the problem. And
Hmm.
now only a muscular statement of the problem mission has been settled up. I will I earnestly hope that the officers who are there, especially one of the officers whom I don't want to name, but he has been my boss also, an extremely competent man, he will sort it out. There are others also, including an ex-judge of former judge who is the chairman of the committee. They will address this, but not. I do not agree to taking it as a humanitarian problem. It should be
True.
taken as a national problem, and India for Indians, Bharat for Bharatiyas should be the
True.
basic motto. That is why it
Very
should
right.
be taken like that.
Very right, sir. So, our next question is, what long term demographic and socio-economic consequences can arise if illegal migration remains unchecked?
If, see, now it won't get remain unchecked, so it is a hypothetical question. I have already said with the handing over of the land, which was the area from which all the because northeastern state had stopped because Hemanta Vishwas came, and thereafter lot of efforts have been taken, including he goes by the Bharat for Bharatiya
Yeah.
theme, and lot of Assam has come under control, so they were all coming through the Bangladeshi border, and now Bangladesh also, if this area is also fenced, they will find it extremely difficult. Extremely, because what has happened is this humanitarian issue was abused by the TMC MLAs during the Mamata Banerjee's time, along in collusion with brokers, certain brokers. They would always say at 11 o'clock after the BSF has closed the outpost, BOP and all that, show Sheikh the Great and all. Then if somebody comes, be Ache means there's a marriage, we are all coming to, because there's a lot of ethnic affinity. We are coming for a marriage, 40 fellows will come. It's all informal. Local MLA will stand guarantee, and 40 out of 40 fellows will come, only 12 will go back.
Yeah.
These were also techniques which were used. Apart from the pushing, apart from all sorts of things, Tabligh Jamaat was also doing, like the Tabligh Jamaat has some original, they have headquarters in Cox's Bazar in Dhaka, and from there also it was held. Hifasat-e Islam is one area, which is a
Hmm.
Dhaka based radical outfit. There is one Islamic Chhotro Shibir. They will all come. If once you take a humanitarian grant, all of them will get hyperactive, simply start pushing their people here.
True.
So that's the way. There are many such outfits. And on the western side, eastern side also, for eastern side also, they have their people, right? Sylhet to Kachar is not a very difficult right, especially when we are doing our border roads where it is only inside Bangladesh they have the struggle. Once they come to India, the border roads are very excellent. Nitin
True.
Gadkari is doing excellent job of doing your infrastructure, especially the Zojila tunnel which has
Right,
opened
sir.
2 days back. It's a
Yeah,
game
very
changer
true.
for security forces.
Yeah. So there are concerns regarding forged identity documents, voter enrollment irregularities, and welfare leakages. How serious are these concerns from an administrative standpoint?
Sir, Sir had agitated. Election Commission as an instrument of state tried to correct this voter enrollment. Try to correct this.
Yes, sir.
See the amount of agitation which happened in the concerned area. In Kerala, they were not really agitated. But why should that be a problem in Bangla or Assam? Assam, of course, Hemanta had controlled it. Why was there so much? Even now, she refused to believe that she has lost the election.
Hmm.
Said, vote chori hua.
Huh.
Election Commission's SIR, intensive revision,
Hmm.
had been upheld by even the highest court of the country. Supreme Court of the country has upheld it, that it is required. False, fictitious names are getting into it. Dead people's names are being replaced with new persons. Voter
Hmm.
endorsement is, needs to be proved. There are so many other, if you see the Supreme Court, there are so many other factors in there. So that takes care of the voter enrollment issue has been settled by Supreme Court. Now I don't think anybody should have any objection to such intensive revisions by the Election Commission of India. Election Commission of India is a constitutional body. They don't work under X, Y, or Z. ECI is directly responsible to the President of India. So that is the crux of the matter. We should all understand. So to allege or impute motives to election commissioner, such a constitutional authority, is absolutely bizarre and it should be condemned by all political parties. Any political party making an allegation against the election commission is not acceptable. And not only that, they are lowering the prestige of the country, the international. Indian democracy is one of the most vibrant democracy, very robust democracy in the world. By questioning the election commissioner, again, for in support, trying to oppose his cleaning up of the ballot papers, ballot electoral rolls, is absolutely wrong. They do happen because, as Kirit Somaya had pointed out in many places, including Dongri, Malwani, Malegaon, Sambhajinagar, every place, including that one lady Rana is there, a member of parliament. She has also done a lot of work on Aurangabad. Rane or Rana, I'm not getting the name. So it is extremely unfortunate that people who are not in power, who are opposed to these efforts by these nationalist leaders, are trying to create a misnomer, trying to misnomer again or illusion that it should be done for social or whatever it is. It is a humanitarian problem. That is all nonsense. It is all. No, see, let us be very clear whether it is the Congress or whether it is the NCP or nobody is thinking has any concern for humanity.
Hmm.
Politicians are coming there for their vote. The NGOs who are coming into India, which take around, see, from 2001 to 2018, NGOs got around uh, 700 crores worth of foreign contributions into India. before some of us took it up with the Honorable Home Minister for robust checks and balances, and that is the reason, like when he did not apply for extension after 2024, if you recollect. And the press was with them saying that the government of India has not, because the conditions for extension were made very stringent. Because 700 crore. And what they will do? They will do all anti-development work. Now Narmada, that Medha Patkar has been convicted in some way, called out in some Narmada case, how she was trying to, evidence are coming out, how she was trying to disturb the energy self-sufficiency of India and disturb India. What she protested against, now the people of on the Narmada Sarovar project area are very well rain fed. They are very happy. The progress has taken place in these areas. Similarly, Kodangulam was dropped. Now we have Kodangulam was dropped for a. Then you have the um, Thoothukudi, this thing based, supported by. Now India, that was a design, that copper. Now 40% of the Indian copper production capacity was in Thoothukudi, and that plant stands closed. They are not opening it. The real Indians who used to get around
Hmm.
1200 to 1500 rupees per day daily wages are struggling at 120 rupees per wages daily wages. I visited Thoothukudi in 2024 and I am personally noted. Now I will take you to another very interesting factor, 2025 June. Similarly, apart from that, now India is dependent on copper, dependent on China for its copper needs, because that has happened. So these NGOs are also supporting. NGOs will support what is not in India's interest, and they are the ones who are doing the supporting legal aid. All those things they will take, including there are petitions that Rohingya should be there. It was thrown out by a gentleman called Prashant Bhushan and the learned advocate. And ultimately, the government did not, he did not find favor with it. But the question is, it is not whether he wins the case or not. By getting the matter sub judice, they are trying to delay the momentum, or also affect disrupt the momentum of such repatriation back to their home country, and as a result, some focus could be lost. And apart from that, for the time with the matter is sub judice, they will continue to stay in India and bleed India, take benefit of the Indian resources. So there are certain boundaries which government should, under 143 or whatever article, they will take advice of the direction of the Supreme Court and give out a blueprint that these are all no-go areas where, this is my suggestion, where
Yeah.
if a momentum is started, illegal immigrant, if he is found an illegal element, there should be no petition, or there should be no thing that he cannot be thrown out of the country. Some sort of a succor should be brought out by the government of India, taking advisory role of the Supreme Court, so that tomorrow Supreme Court also it becomes a ratio.
Hmm.
So res judicata. So that is the way we have to address the problem, because the problem is humongous. As I told you, 10 to 15 crore people, sending them back is going to otherwise also be challenging, and Bangladesh is not going to accept it, given their internal policy itself is liberalism, push the people to sidelines to other
Hmm.
countries. And if you see, Bangladesh is doing it. In UK, you have so many Bangladeshis. One went on to join even the ISIS. In Singapore, the entire construction workers are Bangladeshis. Legally, illegally, legitimately, however they are saying. In Thailand, you have Bangladeshis. So that is the way they work, and so it is easier that the government has to be very strong and resolute in sending back the Bangladeshis, because of the burden they cause on the Indian exchequer.
Sure. So, in your experience, what are the major gaps in identifying and preventing illegal infiltration?
Infiltration, I said, infiltration being addressed because of
Hmm.
the loose borders, etc.
Hmm.
But once there are actually, they come through agents, dalal, middlemen.
Hmm. Yes.
And not only that, as I told you, there are within 50 kilometers of Indian border, there are many institutions like masjids and madrasas, etc. Initially, they are brought into that as a embarkation point. From there, see, human traffickers bid it. That human trafficking group, they bid, I want 400 maids in Bombay,
Hmm.
140 maids in Bangalore, like that. Or rickshaw, and their family also comes. The rickshaw fellow gets this guy, whether he's a rickshaw fellow or he's a plumber or he's a cloth dyer and all. So there, even without skills also they will say, including the meat shops or the kebab wala. See, for example, the street vending that food item, non-veg food item.
Hmm.
If you see the last 20 years, lot of new katti rolls is one. Bangladesh, it's a Bengali item, both India and Bangladesh.
Hmm.
Lot of this katti rolls. I am a
Oh,
vegetarian, so that
yeah.
they say katti rolls. You will find even
Hmm.
in Noida, where you stay, in
Yeah.
Noida, you will find. See, there are
Hmm.
Litti Choka fellows are Biharis, but there will also
Yeah.
have katti rolls, katti rolls.
Hmm.
Every station outside, that is where they land up. Your chai wala will find it difficult in these days to get a proper cylinder for less than 2,500 rupees, but their middlemen will ensure that they get this. So these are all very huge network of system. You have to break that. And first thing is stop the inflow of Bangladeshis into India, which I'm sure the government is almost very close to that. Once the border fencing, once the land is available, is merely a matter of months, and that matter they will put additional resources and do the fencing. Because it doesn't have to wait for the process to complete. Once that stops, I'm sure the the network of middlemen will also get crashed. And once they
Hmm.
get crashed, the identification of all these things will become easier because so far they have been protecting it. Thereafter, you can check with you have Aadhaar with biometric and all that. Backward linkages can be established. Police residence verification. Now, police are also local intelligence, so many things. See, if I claim my home as English Bazaar Balda, and I am from Tamil Nadu. Within
Hmm.
third day, he will find out that my ancestors were not from English Bazar, Malta.
Hmm.
So that is the way it should be. It will be done. So it is not a big deal. Once
True, sir.
the infiltration has to stop,
Hmm.
further infiltration has to stop. It will send panic among the people living here. And already many people have gone back trying to push the border and getting back into their homes. It's a situation in Bangladesh, Indo-Bangladesh borders, and that is also solved. And apart from that Indo-Bangladeshi borders, we also have minor, small level illegal immigration coming into India from Maldives, which is going unnoticed, especially in the Kerala because of their ethnic affinity as well as language. Also, they pick up Malayalam very fast, their local language, Malayalam. So that is one thing which needs to be addressed. So this is it, and of course, infiltration from Kashmir is being addressed on a regular basis. We have Munabao Jodhpur area where Muslim is Bangladeshi drug smuggling, Pakistan, Indo-Pakistan drug smuggling, gold, even narcotics, and there are many Indian medicines banned in Pakistan. They are smuggled into it, including anti-rabial. So these are all. There are many pockets through which Gurdaspur. Then you have this place in Jaisalmer. You have many places in Kutch, Ran of Kutch, and that also illegal immigration is happening. Many women married in Pakistani women married are living in India with their Indian husband, producing Pakistani children. This also needs to be addressed.
So rightly said. So as you pointed out the role of technology, so I think you have already covered the next question answer. How can technology, digital governance, and interagency coordination help address these challenges?
Interagency coordination has been happening for so many years. I will tell you only after 2611, the Home Ministry set up something called MAC, Multi-Agency Center, in which all this information, everything are shared. And within the Home Ministry and all, including state agencies, can have access to this. Only access. And I work upon that. In addition to that, yesterday I spoke about the Crime and Criminal Tracking Network System, CCTNS. That is also helping a lot. But ultimately, National Population Register is a must, which is happening in Assam under Supreme Court oversight. I don't know whether it's completed or not, but that is also an important, very, very important thing. National Population Register. Thereafter, things will come up in proper. It will be much easier to monitor digitally also. The National Population Register does not have to be physical; it has to be digital. And see the recent census they have taken in my house, the lady. Several. It was noteworthy that certain things she was asking were going towards a national population register. That is possible with the information I have given to that lady, that enumerator who came to my home. That's it.
So, your ability to apply your past experiences and turn them into actionable advice for us is truly invaluable. So, we move on to our next segment that relates to border reinforcement and national security. So, despite extensive offensive and deployment of security forces, challenges continue to persist along the Indo Bangladesh border. Why?
Yeah, that is what I said. I have already called out. Fencing,
Hmm.
generally, fencing stops certain issues. But now, West Bengal government having given land for complete fencing, total end-to-end fencing, there will be no gaps in that. That one point is going to come up. Second, the government has taken note of the situation, seized of the matter, and already ensured a Siliguri corridor is not just pushing out anything by identifying. It is a larger management aspect. It's a management concept of trying to manage, because it's a very, very important chicken neck, they call it. It's a very, very important place. It connects the northeast to the mainland,
Hmm.
and there they are going to establish this, and it will be a total 360 degree management approach under so that Siliguri corridor committee has been formed, so
Hmm.
that not only the northeast. See, Northeast, many of these problems have their echo in Northeast, because somewhere it is a disaffection is perpetrated. Long time back, India insurgent group were being given shelter in Bangladesh. That has stopped. Now they will also address the development issues of all the eight northeastern states. They call it seven sisters and a brother. That is Sikkim is the brother. So that is it, and it has a very, very long-term perspective. We should thank the Honorable Prime Minister and Home Minister for taking this
Sure.
initiative. More importantly, it could be taken only when the Bengal, because Sinagudi, that area is totally. You have to go and visit that area. All sorts of things happen. That is by taking the beast by its neck.
Hmm.
Physically, it is the neck, and when you have the control of that neck, I
Hmm.
think many of the problems will be resolved, including the illegal immigration, the smuggling, the other issues about border and all. That is one way. Apart from the physical border with Bangladesh at West Bengal area, the last mile was 400 to 500 kilometers was pending because of land acquisition. That has been addressed. Tripura is under now recently of late it has been under much control because of very cooperative government with the center. So they have been doing a lot of good things. And I said Meghalaya has its own issue because the terrain being unfensible, but it is
Hmm.
also a challenge. From there they don't come also. And number two is the ecosystem in Meghalaya is the Gasis and the Kasis and the Garo tribal will not allow. They will not allow any. They will not give any shelter to any non-ethnic person or ethnic person whom they don't know. To that extent, it is safe. And now we have Bangladesh, the Indo-Bangladesh Barak Valley and all is being taken care of by the very effective chief. I respect him a lot, the effective chief Secretary Mansa Bishwas. That recently, the fact that in many areas like Dubri and all, the BJP has won is an indication. Many areas, I don't know Dubri about. Many areas in that, many constituencies in that area have been won by this BJP Nationalist Party. So I'm sure that is being taken care of. It's an indication
True,
of
sir.
that.
Very right. So, what are the unique operational challenges faced by border guarding forces in West Bengal?
So because now the chapter is closed. Because I just said that now
Okay,
with
sir.
a cooperative
Okay.
government, with a center-state cooperation, it is easier
Hmm.
always. Whether it is
Hmm.
in Kashmir, see Article 370 was abrogated and centrally friendly government was installed there, union territory. Now the Kashmir infiltrations have gone down very heavily. Rajasthan area, the smuggling and all has been controlled the last 1.5 to 2 years. Similarly, of course, Punjab, there are some issues because they're sent through drones and all from Lahore, but that also is getting answered. So it is something which the local, because ultimately every such crime, when it's a crime happens, local responder is the state police. That is our criminal justice system. Local responders being the state police, the state police leadership or the state political leadership should be on same page with the central leadership. And that enabling situation has come in the last 1 month. I'm sure they will take it forward in the last 5 years, in the next 5 years, all these challenges will be there. They are getting all Cobra, CRPF and BS, the border dedicated border guarding forces like the CRPF, the SSB and the ITBP have all been deployed there. They know their job. They are trained in that, so they know and they are well equipped. Also, the last 10 years, 12 years, the equipment and the communication and other technology system have upgraded and all. For these border guarding forces, including night vision binoculars, have been supplied, which were lacking in my days of in the Home Ministry. For that also we should thank the Honorable Home Minister, particularly taking note of this requirement and providing that. And that is the reason, see, basically strengthening the ability of the capacity of the security forces has been seen in true form. हिंदी में कहते हैं ना प्रत्यक्ष रूप से इसका रिजल्ट
Yeah.
क्या होता है
Hmm.
in eradicating Naxals from the map of India. Because now the security guard, once they got better technology, better ability, better capabilities, the Naxals either were running for covers or were getting killed or coming in to surrender. Because they know that if this is such an empowered security force that we cannot escape. This is what is happening in border guarding force also. And that should be a great succor for the challenges which they face. They are well equipped now, so that is not an issue. And the land port authorities have also given a lot of autonomy that they can deport anybody and not allow anybody to enter, stop immigrations, etc. As they are as powerful as the port authorities in India, so that is the way it is. All are equally well, empowered. That's it.
Yeah, so as you already told about the role of technology such as AI, drones, smart surveillance, facial recognition, and satellite monitoring. So, all these can really strengthen border management.
Right. Yeah, it is strengthening, is already happening. And
Hmm.
you will see the result in few months from now. As I told, once the Siliguri Corridor Committee takes full control of it and the fencing at the West Bengal area happens, the immigration, illegal entries will stop abruptly. That is the first message which will go through to the people across the border as well as the middlemen who are enabling this infiltration in India, the human traffickers. The human traffickers were because you will not know there are many women. What happens is I have written about it in one of my books called Money. When Money read this essay on this. The girl will be the girl will be given triple talaq, and
Yeah.
For doing nikah halala or the promise of doing nikah halala, she will be sent into India
Hmm.
and pushed into the prostitution market.
Hmm.
It is a fact. It is reality happening. There have been cases like
Right,
in
sir.
Calcutta, in Bombay. You find
Hmm.
the sex workers there. You will find many of them from Bangladeshi origin. Many of the sex workers in massage parlors, the Sanpada and Navi Mumbai area, the massage parlors and all. Basically, they are sex shops. They are nothing else. Massage parlor is only a ruse or a cover. You will
Hmm.
find many of the workers there are Bangladeshi origin. From Delhi, from Calcutta, from say Dhaka to Bangladesh. So many people traveling, and if they make good money, they will send it back to. Even in Noida, you can find many such people. In Noida, in the major cities of India, you know the overnight the massage parlors have come, spa, whatever they call it. You will
Right,
find
sir.
because a policeman has told me this.
True.
A Mumbai policeman has told me, very senior police officer has told me.
Hmm. So, what international best practices can India adopt in securing sensitive borders while maintaining humanitarian considerations?
I said cut out humanitarian. When there is a law
Okay, sir.
implementation, there should be no humanitarian issue. A illegal, a delinquent, a fugitive is a fugitive, and that's it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And when he is doing it with full consciousness and awareness, he is what they legally they call mens rea. When there is a
Hmm.
mens rea, why should there be every criminal case? When there is a mens rea, they don't give any 1% consideration for that. And in spite of all these things, I will make one thing very clear: Indian border management with a lot of intelligence backed handling is one
Hmm.
of the best in India. It's of international standard. But United States cannot really handle Mexico to Unita or Puerto Rico or Costa Rica to Unita, or even from Cuba to or Panama to their southern districts as ably as the Indian border management or Indian security forces or Indian intelligence forces are doing. Do you know this? I think we have got illusion that we are to be validated by them. The border management, in spite of so many Bangladeshis being pushed into India, the last 10 years, 7 to 8 years has been some outstanding work they have done. And it is of international standard, so there is no doubt about it. Especially after Mr. Amit Shah took over as the Home Minister in 2019. He is not my friend, I have not nothing to do with him. I appreciate his work after he took
True.
over. To the last 7 years, the Indian border management is of international standard, better than how America can handle, US can handle a Mexican problem, or you take it from other places like any other place like there are such problems are not there. Ukraine, Russia is a recent origin and they are ethnically different. So it is. So that extent our border management ability and border management as such is much better world level. We have very strong officers of the border security force, the ITBP, the SSB, other paramilitary forces who are doing it, and the Indian Army. So don't worry about it. Even our coastal security is much secure than what it was in 2008 when it was there. Even at that time it was secure. The Indian Navy was there. Ultimately, Marcos also did it. But I will give you two examples about border management. This is about coastal security. 2008, the terrorists came from Pakistan. Same terrorists tried to attempt in 2014, 31st March 2000, 31st December 2014. They were repelled by the Indian security forces, Coast Guard and Indian Navy. And it's a matter of record. I have put it in my book in Myth of Hindu Terror. So why I am saying is that a security or a diplomatic corps is only as good as the political leadership allows them to be, empowers them. And given the strong leadership we have, very dynamic leadership, a combination of outstanding Prime Minister and very involved Home Minister, very committed Home Minister. Our border management is today one of the best in the world in terms of digitalization. On so many counts, having digital footprints, trying to curb illegal immigration, our immigration systems, they are all one of the best in the world, or rather the best in the world, I would put it. None of the countries, you travel abroad, you will know how effective abroad our border management is. That's what I want to say.
Very right, sir. So, how important is cooperation between the center and the state government in achieving effective border management?
I explained to you that when the first thing is like Mamata Banerjee refused to allot land.
Yes.
Now our Subhendu Adhikari has these are the way the being on the same page.
Hmm.
Assam has Assam is a standing example of how coming on the same page with the center, both being on
Hmm.
the same page, can be
Hmm.
really outstanding and effective in controlling the menace of illegal immigration, and so many things happen through these borders. Assam being and the government of India being Suvendu Adhikari being on the same page with us. So not Himanta Bishwal. See, it is not just border management. Himanta Bishwal is actually driving. He is a driver in the northeast. He is driving northeast ahead of much more what many people would not have even comprehended or imagined. So, by effective border management, by effective ensuring strong border management and all illegal activities curbed, he is now taking the economic development path to a different
Yes.
level. You go
True.
to Guwahati, you can see for yourself. I have not spoken to any Assami fellow in this area. I have spoken to Marwadis settled in Guwahati.
Hmm.
And Marwadis are business folks. They are saying that this is absolutely unparalleled, unprecedented. We never expected Assam to grow like this, develop like this, and the chief minister being involved like that. So Himanta Bishwal has been a very, very big pioneer in this. That is what is the beauty of being on the same page. Because government of
True.
India is rolling out schemes that has to be really capacity has to be created to observe and take benefit of the scheme, and that so border
Hmm.
management also same happens. They are on the same page.
Hmm. Hmm. So, thank you so much for enlightening us on border reinforcement and national security questions. Now, we move to our next segment that relates to breakdown of governance machinery, diagnosis, and cure. There is increasing public discussion regarding erosion of institutional trust. What, in your opinion, are the principal causes behind this phenomenon?
Why this trust is eroded? That is the basic question. Because of lack of integrity on the part of people who are alleging this erosion. Of course, there are cases like Dhananjay Verma of Delhi High Court, where, but the same people who shout from the rooftop about institutional erosion will go and defend Dhananjay Verma in the case. So the lack of consistency. Now, any good step seeking to change the existing malaise, to remove a malaise taken by any of the constitutional bodies, like the Election Commission, I spoke about. He wanted to clean up the electoral rolls. What is wrong in that? There is nothing. Under Article 324, that is his job. In fact, if he doesn't do it, that's omission.
Hmm.
Regular upgradation, updating of the electoral rolls is his job. If he doesn't, if sir was not done, that is a omission. But when he is doing, all the fellows were protesting because they had their vested interest. They had their vested interest. This is how the narrative is taken forward. And so the allegation that there is an erosion of institutional integrity is absolutely wrong. I will tell you one thing certain, very, very clear thing.
Hmm.
Janendra Kumar, as a Chief Election Commissioner, is a man of highest integrity. But the way people have attacked him is
True.
very, very unfortunate, extremely unfortunate. The CAG does an
Yes.
outstanding job of doing all those things, but again people attacking. Praveen Sood, my good friend, Director CBA, is an outstanding person. But every time they say something about it, whenever a case is not, the judgment is not as per the required, as per the expectation of the naysayers. So the question is, as I told you, there are many NGOs working in India
Mm.
who are questioning the. I told you about how they receive money.
Yeah.
That you should see their own integrity. Forget about forget about any other thing. And a non-profit, non-government organization is not supposed to create asset.
Mm.
You go to Katvaria Sarai, you go to Vasantpur institutional area, how many of these NGOs have their own assets? That goes against the grain of being an NGO. They receive funds from or create assets here. They, they should not have administrative charges beyond certain limit. But they travel abroad, this, that, and all, including leak RTR cigarettes are smoked by these NGO persons, imported from abroad. I'm telling you reality, you can go and verify where I am speaking, what I am speaking. No? They have occupied spaces in India Habitat Center and they are one of the best offices in that. How? So they come and question the erosion of institution in India. Do they have a locus standi when their own integrity is in challenge? Do they have a locus standi to come and question the erosion? Whatever you may like, our constitution writers have done lot of. They have applied a lot of mind. They have applied their brains, the
Mm.
best of the brains, and made such institutions robust.
Mm.
But when these type of mischief mongers, anti-India groups, they come and when they don't get the relief or the decisions desired by them, they start challenging, they start spoiling the image of such institution, like in the case of SIR, like in the case of many judgments in the Supreme Court. Some people even go to the extent of abusing the Supreme Court, like in the case of many CAG, when he said when some minister said zero loss to Exchequer when CAG had pointed out, they called him out as a, I don't know what all. I have been called a Sangi in a very derisive manner. I have been called many other things which I don't want to reveal at a particular time in my career. So it is the people, our institutions are very robust. They can, if there are any shortcomings, it is the people. Now I'm talking about the constitutional institutions. Now you come to the other part. Let us say the NEET, the CBSE, which is happening.
Yes.
CBSE. Now in NEET, who wants his child to be? Let us be analyze it in the proper perspective. Why does a child go for a NEET? Spend say 6 years from sixth class or eighth class or ninth class, they go to Sikar, they go to Gota, study like mad. Some get into depression, some go and commit suicide.
Mm.
Eh? Why should the problem? And in spite of that, and in addition to that, the parents are willing to give 8 lakhs or 10 lakhs for giving advanced question papers. That is going
Mm.
right in this year. So who is at fault? Is the institution at fault or is it the individual at fault? National character has to be built. Institution will be always be stronger. Let me
True.
say, let my son come. I will say my son. Let my son come on merit. If he doesn't get NEET this year, either I will waste this year 1 year or I will go for some other profession. There are enormous number of professions outside. So basically, certain things have to happen in the society. Let us not make our children medals around our neck.
Mm.
You understand what I mean?
Very
Let us
right.
not make our children medals around our neck. The institutions will credibility will be restored. Institutions will start working as it is. Yes, CBSE. Something happened because they wanted to graduate into digitalization, which misfired. Correctives will be taken. Neat again, papers leaked basically because the parents wanted to leak the paper. That Havaldar, that lady of chemistry or professor teacher in Pune or whatever it is, what was her motivation to go and say, did she go to the market and say, hello, neat ko paper le jaye? Aisa nahi hai. And number two, why do these institutions, the private institutions, the coaching center lobby, how did they mushroom? How did they mushroom? Kansar or Baijus or what an academy, I don't know what all name it is. How did they mushroom and become millionaires?
Hmm.
Because of the needs of the student. Why should the student be pushed through this rigor?
Hmm.
Let him work at his pace. There are a lot. See, Honorable Prime Minister has done a lot of things for Kushal. Yesterday we spoke about it, about the employment part also. So, what are we trying to make our children? Why we everybody wants his children to be an engineer, a doctor, etc., etc. The consequences: engineering college comes in the backlands of Mahipalpur. Aeronautical engineering college comes in somewhere in Kotla Mubarakpur. A MBA college operates out of Uttam Nagar. Is this the level of education we want? The Section 3 of UGC Act has also been abused as much as possible to the extent. And see what has happened in Knowledge Park, Gurgaon. 20 years back, Mayapati had set up this Knowledge Park saying that Gujarat, Noida will be the hub of education. Greater Noida. Half of the institutions are on the verge of closure. They are not able to fill the seats.
Yes.
They are not able to fill the seats. Something like Accurate School College of Technology. I do not know what accuracy will give. So this type of now the bubble has burst, and many boys who have done BTech are working as telephone operators, and all this. So some sort of a balance. The people, population also has to. The parents or the next generation also has to take a call. Why should everybody go for a corporate job or a government job or anything like that? What is the purpose of getting into a government job? Service or so? Why so many top IITNs and IIMs come to government service? And later on, few of them, I'm not saying most of them, few of them have been caught taking bribes of 80 crores and 80 lakhs and all that. You have seen that. Every day you read of it. So it
Yes.
is on the parents to moderation is required. Leave the at least up to the age of 10 to 12 or 15. Let the child develop himself. He will check his talents. There is accommodation, there's adequate space in the room, there are adequate opportunities in the world for him to pick up a vocation. Maybe you killed a Nobel Prize fellow by putting him into engineering. Is it a
Very right.
possibility?
Yes.
You killed a top scientist by pushing him into a private engineering college.
Hmm.
You killed a Fields Medal prospect by putting him into something else, asking him to go
Hmm.
for IAS. So
Hmm.
these things are happening. The growth should be natural. It should come out naturally. Parents should handhold them, not push them. That is it. See, the institutional erosion is happening at this level. Universities are also having facing the same problem. Many universities are facing the same problem. Law centers, and after 5 year law, everybody wants to go to corporate. I said, why corporate? And if you see the High Court, Delhi High Court, you go to any High Court, young lawyers are occupying spaces and all that. But they're all working on law firms.
Hmm.
They really need to see law is something which you have to learn like cricket. You have to stand in the pitch and face the ball every day. Every day you will get a different pitch. You will get a different. So in law, that is experience. That is how you grow into a law. Not that you go to corporate. That fellow will do research. For 2 years, you will be doing only research. After 6 years, he will say, now you can do drafting. That fellow will be drafting only. And after 10 years, of course, remuneration may be good. Appearance, argument. So it's a combination of so many things: research, appearance, argument, fact checking, and all that. Every profession, this is the situation. So as a result of that, the demand is very high. People are pushing it beyond limits, and now we have a situation like we have. But at the same time, where are we now? After 40 years of IT revolution, do only an NRE came back to India and founded the Joho mail. Otherwise, we had no operating system, we had no mail of our own.
Mhm.
And still, it's all US based. So the crashing of institution can happen, even manipulation can happen, because all our data is somewhere stored in the US hands.
True.
So now some people need to be checking themselves how to take it forward. One Narendra Modi, one Amit Shah cannot drive the country. It's a country of 150 millions, or maybe 160 millions. We need to enable them, at least strengthen the hands. Everybody wants everything at their home. And if something goes wrong, they will say Modi resigned. And that fellow is working almost, I don't think in the last 4399 days, he has taken a single day off. Yesterday, 4400 days today. Has he taken a single day leave? No. So that should be highlighted. We should be enabling them. Create such situations. Not simply sitting at the table and shouting. Some people are shouting over social media, all those things. All those things. Number three, the defense forces should attract more people. That is unfortunately not happening.
Yes.
Competent officers are required in the defense forces, but nowadays good people are not enrolling themselves. Because a National Defense Academy or a SSB is very tough to crack. It is as tough as an IAS exam. And people don't really go in right earnest. We are not getting it. We need to get much more talent into all the three forces, and everybody wants to chase IAS, dream of Lal Batti, which is unfortunate. And after at the age of 34 or 38, if they don't succeed, they end up as what our Chief Justice said. I don't want to say that. What our Chief Justice called them out. They become like that in the country. That should be avoided. There should be a proper normated period within which people should try to settle themselves in whatever profession, honorable profession, honest profession, let them settle down. Not chase wild dreams. So there are so many things for institutional integrity to continue. As he said, it is the teachers, the parents who want the children to get into medical college by hook or crook, even by purchase of question papers. Then why do you blame the neat fellows that they leave the paper?
Hmm.
You paid him money, you tempted him. I do not know what type of pressure you might have brought. You might have kidnapped his children, or put some trade off that I will make your children play IPL, you give me the paper. This type of blackmailing happens, trade off happens. See, we do not know what is not coming into our eyes. So why did the parent do it? If his son is not competent, able to become a doctor, or if then let him take some other profession.
Hmm.
But why do you encourage him? By encouraging him, you are also introducing him into illegality.
Hmm.
And that takes you back to much earlier. Many people don't even follow road lights, traffic signals, wearing helmets and all. Driving on the wrong side. And this is becoming day by day, it is becoming more rampant in all cities. All cities. So these are all, see, when I was in Manchester, one Professor Merrick, Dr. Merrick Jones, thereafter I always remember it, said, you Indians don't, this is 1993, you Indians don't respect state. I said, how do you say, Merrick? He said there is
mm,
a red light, people don't even stop for that. If they get an opportunity, they jump.
mm.
I said, why? Well, what does it mean? That doesn't mean that I don't. That is an agent of state. This needs to be carried out to public at large. Yeah, traffic light is an agent of state. It's a sign of state.
Mm, mm.
It is to be respected. It is to be, and this should go into the minds of the children.
Right.
But how can it go when the child's mother himself is driving on the wrong side without helmet, doing a triple riding early morning, 7:50 going on the wrong side and dropping the child in the school? There will be a paradoxical situation. It could lead to mental disorder also. So there are a lot of things which need to be done.
Mm,
I told 365 we will together do a lot of things on this point. About institutional restoration, I am not talking about erosion. Institutions are there, but institutions have to be restored on the same path. They are very robust. Right from the Supreme Court of India or the UPSC or the Government of India or the Prime Minister's Office or Election Commission or Chief Controller or Auditor General of India. All of them are very good institutions. Central Vigilance Commission. The public faith, there is a
mm.
design, a conspiracy to make the Indian public lose faith in this institution, and that should be curbed. Curbed by the people at large. Our Modi or our Amit Shah cannot do it single-handedly. There they need the help of people at large, and that is what I would like to conclude. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for explaining in detail. Sir, as you already pointed out, the next question is how can confidence in enforcement, administration, and public institutions be restored? Like we talked about the public things and all, but what about the confidence in law enforcement?
Law enforcement simple. You start following the law much more at yourself, at the self level.
Hmm,
See, you have to bribe a policeman only because you have jumped the light.
hmm,
And once he gets the taste of additional money, he will start becoming corrupt. You have broken a law, so you give money to the policeman. You have not. You have extended your home beyond the limited municipal allotment, so you have to pay somebody. So let us be self-disciplined first. Half of your law enforcement agencies will come because you don't know. Law enforcement agencies have a lot of problem in taking you through the legal course. At 4 o'clock, his duty off time is 8 to 4. At 3:40, a complaint comes. That officer will have to complete the investigation and go home. It may be 6 hours. Protect the evidences and all that. They work under very, very strenuous circumstances which the ordinary public is not aware. At the 42-degree temperature, it looks like 48. A
hmm.
traffic cab is standing out just outside my home in a crossing.
Right.
And people misbehave with it. They jump. They don't even misbehave. Some people do physical harm also.
Hmm,
So law enforcement agencies are one amongst us. Policemen are one amongst us.
hmm,
That that brotherhood has to come. That sort of a intimacy has to come, and that confidence will always come. Even though normally they don't misbehave, they can assess with their experience.
hmm.
So especially after your UP Yogi Adityanath has taken over, generally they
Hmm.
don't misbehave. They behave well.
Yeah. Hmm,
But the question is, we also have to be reasonable. Sometimes we shout at them. Sometimes in Noida it's very common. क्या आप आते नहीं हो यहाँ कुत्ते तंग कर रहे हैं. Is it the job of if you don't have a problem with the dogs of your neighbors, is the policeman supposed to rout it out? You go to
hmm,
municipal authorities. Eh? This is very common in Noida societies. Why
hmm,
I am saying is, you let us also treat the policeman as your own fellow.
hmm,
Then from his side also, if there is a lack of cooperation, then only we have a point to complain. That is where the public institution. As these are all times of AI. There is a common advertisement somewhere about AI that
Hmm.
a person is a bank man is trying to avoid, but she has her paper ready because of AI, and she has to work. So let everybody goes our paper ready. It doesn't take much time to get your paper. Fine.
Hmm.
Your input should be perfect. Then see how the law enforcement, law, public institutions reject your case. So that should be our at the here where here there are a lot of see Indian. I'm not saying Indian public has been pampered beyond it, influence and jugad and parvi and all sorts of things. They need basically, in spite of all these things, had we relied upon proper education, insisted upon primary education to all, put a condition that no child up to the age of 14 or 15 shall travel beyond 2 kilometers for his five school. I see a 5-year-old girl in the morning 5:40 or 5:30 when I go for my morning walk. Her mother is also standing eating a sandwich. This lady is being, her mother is trying to push a sandwich into her mouth. Dwaraka to DPS Bahadurgarh.
Hmm.
The school bus comes at around 5:45, 5:50. Is this what we want?
Hmm.
It is not only it's a torture for the child, it's also adding to the traffic.
Yes.
Because they want to show that my daughter is studying in such a branded school.
Hmm.
What is the content which they are getting? What is the level of strain the child is going to have? Go to the neighborhood. Most of the countries have neighborhood school concept. Why don't we do it? And for DPA Dwarka, some people is coming from Rohini. What is
Yes,
this
this is
happening?
happening. Yeah.
See, or even from Karaval Nagar in East Delhi, people come to DPS Dwarka.
Hmm.
So why this type of obsession with brands and all this? Let us be under oversight of parents. If a child studies, lot of you don't have to really coach him. Just keep oversight. That is your responsibility. Not look at the TVs and social media.
Hmm.
The child will come out very well. There is nothing, no rocket science involved in it. My parents used to bring up the children like that. My grandparents used to bring up. Let us rely on that. That is the best institutional memory you can have.
Very right, sir. Very important things you pointed out. What reforms are required in policy making, intelligence gathering, and district administration
What
regarding
tell
this
you?
governance? So, what
See,
reforms are required in policy making, intelligence gathering, and district administration?
reform. I tell you. Reforms, yes, certainly, certain reforms, timeliness, etc. Intelligence gathering, India is, not only now, I told it in 2016 itself in India, the Indian intelligence is one of the best in the world. So, of course, they continue to improve. Dekha Saab is also doing a lot of great work. And a lot of many people are doing excellent work. And good inflow of fresh human resources is also happening in the intelligence. And about the administration and the day-to-day administration and all, basically, that I'll tell you one simple joke I was told in a. One fellow was one fellow was boarded a crowded bus. People started standing on his feet. तो he said, अरे
Hmm.
भाई मेरा पैर छोड़ दो ये सरकारी नहीं है.
Hmm.
That idea should go. That Sarkar will do all these things. I will not.
Yes.
Let us also save energy. Let us do simple things. It's very difficult to do simple things. Let us say Sarkar is me.
Hmm.
Let us not distinguish between. So the participation process. Once you started participation, they will also enable like the. There are so many schemes which Honorable Prime Minister has introduced, in
Hmm.
which it is the public part, like even the Ayushman Bharat also, the public and the health agencies are doing it. Anganwadi, there are several schemes they are doing it. Administrative reforms is an ongoing process based on daily new challenges and new technologies. All of them are getting integrated, the dedicated department under Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, and it is rightly under the Prime Minister's own stewardship. And they are doing a lot on this. They every year they recalibrate themselves on 21st of April, Civil Service Day, and revisit what more can be done. All the civil servants of the country gather at place, reward the best performance, annual reward for the best performance, and also take into account what more can be done about it, and take with the roadmap ahead. That is how they are working on it. Thank you.
So, how can political leadership and bureaucracy work together without compromising institutional integrity?
There, see, I am one person. I had to take on the Prime Minister political leadership of the then period, just to stand for the truth.
Hmm.
So basically, there will be sync if you stand for the truth. Truth, public welfare, truth. No person's rights are abridged. No person is challenged. That is the job of a civil servant, and that is what you have to do.
Hmm.
Political leadership have their own agenda. Now, in my case, it was a direct agenda between the present political leadership. That time they were not in the helm of affairs, and the people who were ruling there, they wanted these two people to be put behind the bar.
Hmm.
I said that is not constitutional, that is against the law. There is no case made out against them. And that is the reason it happened. And I had to take
Hmm.
on the government. So we have to be sure of ourselves what is right and the concept of what is right as per the rule book. What is permissible as per the rule. See, there are a lot of brain is going into the rule frame. What is as per the rule book? If you show the rule book, that is it. Politicians always are in a hurry.
Hmm.
At least the previous government politicians. Now also, basically there is an issue there that I have taken two ministers' names. They are always in a robust manner. They are taking the country forward. How much do we? Of course, Nitin Gadkari is also another great person who is taking the country at a rapid development.
Hmm.
There are other people who also have to see. All of them do not have the same pace. All five fingers
Hmm.
are not same.
True.
So whether they also have to train, and similarly, as Nitin Gadkari ji himself pointed out, the bureaucracy also should take decisions. Decision making should be correct and timely. Because Nitin Gadkari ji had pointed out about this, that the decision making in NHA was not timely and as well as delaying the project. I will recall a position. I was LNDO of the Government of India, and the land allocation to phase 3 project of metro was to happen. I said the
Hmm.
land is anyhow going to you. I will do one thing. I will give a letter for early entry. You start the project work. By the time I will regularize the land. I will get the approvals for land allocation as it is, so that your project doesn't get delayed. That type of a decision making capacity should be there. So this is only a small example. Like that, we have to innovate wherever required, and so that people are able to take it forward.
Yeah. So, like, I think you have already explained this. What role should media, civil society, and citizens play in strengthening democratic accountability?
About the civil societies lack of ethics. I have already explained. The civil society in
Yeah.
India is
Hmm.
basically all these NGO groups who are shouting at everything, blaming the government for everything and disrupting the entire development process, which rapidly it is happening. Whether it development based on tribal rights, they will disturb the process. Development based on to disturb, they will take environmental shelter. They take every other shelter.
Hmm.
And let us be very clear. There are rules. Indian environment is well protected. There are rules in force. For every tree cut, there is a compensatory plantation. Or every major project, you could have you read the newspaper 2 days before. Even for metro, this Ramakrishna Ashram to Yamuna Bank, that Indraprastha project also, there was a proper approval given with a tree replantation targets, etc., etc. So it's very clear. So no, nothing is going to drop excepting the major dams and all that where EIA is done in a very thorough manner. So these groups which is standing out in the civil called civil society is the biggest. I don't want to use the word, but they are not in this. They are trying to disturb based on the agenda of some deep state. So I will not. I don't give any credence to them. Media is doing a good job in these days. Good. Of course, administration is getting robust, and there are certain. If everywhere there are certain scope for reforms, and I'm sure Honorable Prime Minister will take cognizance because he is so much involved in development that he needs to take cognizance of the need for reforms, maybe appoint a very expert committee and all that. That is the way best it can be. And the reform should be not just the central government. The reform should also, many states require a lot more reform. Many states require a lot more reform. That also needs to be addressed. That's what I would say.
Thank you, Mani sir, for being such an incredible source of knowledge and experience sharing person for us. So, for today, now you have other commitments, I know. So, we shall continue it on another day.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you very
okay.
much.
Thank you so much,
Okay,
sir.
thank you.
Yeah.